We're working on 1.6.3 Algebra 2, Semester 2, inverse variation. All right, so we have two things to look at. We have direct variation, which is y equals k times x, which is essentially just the output equals constant times input. So it's direct. The y and the x are on the same line. It's just multiplication, straightforward. Inverse is y equals k divided by x. So its output equals constant divided by input. So inverse always has a variable in a denominator. So inverse will always have one of the variables, either x or y, in the denominator. Direct, they're all being multiplied kind of across. One thing to note is that our k is a constant. They represent some number, and oftentimes that's what they're going to ask us to find. Move on to the actual slide here. There we go. All right, so you are going to need to go to your checkup problems, the 1.6.2 checkup problems, and I'm just doing question 1 here, and I'll do question 9 on the next slide. I wasn't able to just like copy and paste it onto using Google Jamboard. Doesn't allow it for whatever reason, or it would just be too many steps, I guess. So what they give you is they give you a graph. It had a straight line, something like that. Obviously, the point would actually be on the line. Whatever. They give us width down here, height over here. There's like 5 ordered pairs maybe that are on this line, and then they give us this formula: height equals constant times width. So this is all given to me. All the information we have is given to us. One thing to note is that the width is down here. This is my x-axis, so my width is my x. And since I know all my ordered pairs are in the form xy, I know that this 3 is my width. And then this height is on the y-axis, so this 6 is my height. And I'm just going to plug it into this formula. Well, my height, which is 6, equals the constant, which I'll call c in this case, times the width, which is 3. Now, the instructions for this was to find the value of the constant. So I've plugged in for my height and my width. Now I'm solving for c. I divide by 3, and I'm going to get my constant is equal to 2. So they give you the formula. They give you a bunch of different options. You can choose. I chose 3, 6, but you could choose any of those ordered pairs. You'll get the exact same answer. And then identify what is your x value. My x value is width. My y value is height. And I move on from there. So we're going to do question 9 next. Same idea. I think this graph is it's an inverse. So the graph looks like that. Again, it has like 5 ordered pairs. You can choose any of them. You get the same answer. I just chose 15 too because I don't want to write them all. Again, width is down here on the x-axis. And then height is over here on the y-axis. So I already labeled all that. My instructions are still to find the value of the constant. So I just have to plug in. My height is 2. My constant, I still don't know. We'll call that c. My width is 15. So I'm solving for c. It's being divided by 15. To get rid of division, I must multiply. So we have 30 equals c. So my constant in this case is 30. So these problems, they give you the formula. They give you a bunch of ordered pairs that you can use, and you're just going to end up being a plug and chug.